You just dropped $400 on a golf bag, and it might be the reason your shoulders are screaming by the 12th hole. Stop. Before you buy another one, stand over the bag you already own and look at it honestly. That bag was sold to you with a story. The story was about status, about looking like a tour player, about matching your irons. Nobody told you the real story. Nobody told you what that bag is quietly doing to your back nine, to your graphite shafts, and to your wallet. Here is the claim I am going to prove to you in the next few minutes. 6 of the most popular golf bags on the market right now are overbuilt, overpriced, and actively working against an aging swing, while 4 ordinary-looking bags will outlast them, outcarry them, and cost you less. The bag industry never explained this because the markup on a premium bag is enormous, and the heavier and fancier they make it, the more they can charge you. I remember standing in a pro shop 3 seasons ago, holding a gorgeous waxed canvas bag that cost nearly $400, thinking it would make me feel like a real player again. I bought it by the back nine of my very next round at my home course. My trail shoulder was on fire and my drives had lost a club and a half of carry. That bag taught me something the industry hides. Stay with me, because at the end I am going to show you a free 30-second test involving a bathroom scale and 1 documented finding about walking fatigue that recovered real swing speed on my closing holes. It costs nothing, it works with the clubs you own right now, and it works even if your swing is slower than it was 20 years ago. This is not about buying your way to distance. This is about stopping the slow leak. Let me start with the lie that costs you the most, and it is the one nobody weighs. Weight. Pick up your loaded bag right now. Feel it. The industry sells you on premium materials, tour-grade fabric, waxed canvas, full leather trim, and every ounce of that luxury is dead weight you carry or your cart carries for 18 holes. And here is the part they bury. For a player past 50, weight is not a comfort issue. It is a performance issue. Look at the darling of the premium market, the Vessel Player Series stand bag. It is a beautiful thing. Synthetic leather, tour-level presentation, and a price that sits right around $395 and higher for the special editions. It also weighs in around 6 pounds empty. Empty. That is a stand bag, the kind you are supposed to carry. Now load it with 14 clubs, a dozen balls, a rangefinder, a bottle of water, and a rain jacket. And you are hoisting something in the neighborhood of 25 to 30 pounds onto your shoulders, over and over, 40 to 60 times in a round. Compare that to a bag almost nobody talks about, because it does not photograph like a luxury item. The Sun Mountain 2.5 Plus. It weighs about 2.9 pounds empty. Under 3 pounds, that is less than half the weight of the premium leather bag for roughly $250, and often less on sale. Do the arithmetic the marketing team hopes you never do. 3 extra pounds of bag, lifted 50 times over 18 holes, is 150 extra pounds of lifting you did for absolutely no reason. No extra distance, no extra forgiveness, no better score. Just fatigue you paid a premium to carry. So here is the first villain in plain sight. The premium stand bag is sold on appearance and charged on appearance, and the weight that comes with the luxury is the exact thing that erodes your energy late in the round. That is bag number 1. I would tell you to stop buying if you walk and if you are over 50, not because it is badly made, because it is heavy, and heavy is the enemy of your 4th hour on the course. But weight is only the first thing they overcharge you for. The next one is hidden inside the top of the bag, where you never look until it is too late. Open the top of your bag and look at the dividers. This is where a huge number of bags quietly fail you, and it is the reason bag number 2 and bag number 3 are on my stop list. There are 2 kinds of dividers, and the industry uses the confusing ones on purpose, because they are cheaper to build. A full-length divider runs all the way from the top of the bag down to the base, giving every club its own private channel from grip to head. A partial divider, sometimes dressed up as a 3-way top or a 5-way top, only separates the clubs near the opening. Below that opening, all 14 shafts drop into one shared open cavity where they rub, clack, and tangle every single time you walk, ride, or lift. Here is what that shared cavity cost you, and it is not just annoyance. Graphite shafts, the ones in your driver, your fairway woods, your hybrids, and increasingly your irons, have a finish and a wall that do not love being ground against other shafts for years. When shafts rattle together in an open bottom bag, you get finish wear, micro scratches, and over enough seasons, weakened spots near the tip and around any impact points. A reshaft on a premium graphite driver shaft can run you $200 or more. You paid for the bag to protect your clubs, and the cheap divider design is slowly wearing them down. The big box 14-way cart bags are the worst offenders here, and so are a lot of the value stand bags that advertise a top-heavy divider count without telling you those dividers stop 3 inches down. In my own testing, I pulled clubs from a partial divider cart bag and a true full-length 14-way bag on the same cart path, and the partial divider bag let the shafts cross and jam so badly I was yanking 2 clubs out at once on the tee. That is lost time, lost patience, and lost shaft finish. Now here is a bag that gets this right and does not scream luxury. The Sun Mountain C130 cart bag, 14 individual full-length dividers, every club protected top to bottom, forward facing so they sit up toward you on the cart. It weighs around 6 pounds, which is fine because it is a cart bag and the cart carries it, and it typically sells in the range of $240 to $260. That is one of my 4 that will not let you down, and I will come back to why the base matters even more than the top. The Ping Hoofer is the stand bag version of getting this right. It has been refined for years. It comes in true full-length divider configurations. It weighs around 5 pounds, and it holds up season after season for something in the low 300s. That is bag number 2 on my keep list. So there is your second buried truth. The divider is not a minor feature. It is either protecting the most expensive part of your setup, your shafts, or it is grinding them down while you sleep. Stop buying partial divider bags dressed up with a big number on the top. But even a perfect divider means nothing if the bag cannot stay put on your cart. And that brings me to the ugliest little scam in the whole category. Look at the bottom of your cart bag, the base. This is the part the marketing photos never feature, and it is the part that separates a bag that lasts 10 years from a bag that cracks in 1. Here is what happens with the cheap bags, and it is bag number 4 on my stop list, the no-name and big box cart bags that undercut everyone on price. The base is thin, hollow, injection molded plastic. It has no real grip system for a cart strap channel, so the bag rotates on the deck every time you go around a corner or up a hill. Worse, that hollow plastic base takes the entire impact every time you set the bag down or every time the cart bounces on a cart path seam. One cold morning, that brittle plastic cracks, and now your bag leans, your clubs tilt, and the whole thing wobbles for the rest of its short life. I learned this the expensive way. I had a bargain cart bag whose base split on the 8th hole of a chilly October round, and I finished 9 holes holding the bag upright with one hand while I steered with the other. $40-something saved on the purchase, and I was shopping for a replacement by November. A proper cart bag has a base engineered for a cart. That means a 14-way top that faces you, yes, but more importantly a base with a molded cart strap pass-through and a non-slip foot so the bag locks onto the cart deck and does not spin. The Sun Mountain C130 has this. So does the Ogio Convoy line, which is my 3rd keeper, an underappreciated cart bag with a smart base and huge, well-built pockets, usually sitting around $220 to $250. Now here is where I have to be fair, because the industry loves to sell you the opposite mistake too. Bag number 5 on my stop list is the premium status cart bag that charges you $400 and up for a leather look while giving you the exact same molded base as a mid-priced bag. You are paying a $150 premium for the fabric, not for a better base, not for better dividers, not for a single yard or stroke. Name names? The ultra premium waxed and leather cart bags are gorgeous, and they are a pure appearance tax. If you love how they look and you have the money, fine. Just know you are buying looks, not performance. And the honest fitter will tell you that if he has nothing to gain. So we have covered weight, dividers, and the base. 3 ways the industry overcharges you and underdelivers. But there is a 4th, and this one is dressed up in the most impressive sounding technology of all, waterproofing. Every bag maker now sells you a waterproof or water-resistant model at a premium, with a special name and a story about sealed seams and welded zippers. And here is bag number 6 on my stop list, the premium so-called fully waterproof bag sold at a steep upcharge to a player who plays in the rain maybe 3 times a year. Let me be precise, because this is where the fine print matters. There is a real difference between a bag with a water-resistant coating and a bag with fully seam-sealed, welded construction. The genuinely sealed bags, the ones using the truly waterproof build, do exist and they do work. But they carry an upcharge that can run $50 to $100 over the standard version of the very same bag. And the seam-sealed construction usually adds weight and can make the zippers stiffer and shorter-lived because a waterproof zipper has a rubberized track that wears and drags. Here is the buried truth. For the average American amateur who plays in fair weather and heads for the clubhouse when it really pours, a standard bag with a decent rain hood does 90% of what the premium waterproof bag does for a lot less money and a lot less weight. You are being sold insurance for a storm you avoid. The people who genuinely need full waterproofing are the folks who play in wet climates weekly, and they know who they are. So there is the full picture of the overcharge. Weight you do not need. Dividers that grind your shafts. Bases that crack. Waterproofing you rarely use. 4 different ways the price of a golf bag has been inflated far beyond what the thing actually does for your game. Now, I have been talking about which bags to buy and which to walk away from, but I promised you this was not just a shopping video because I know exactly who is watching right now. You already own a bag. You are not thrilled about spending $200 or $300 to replace something that technically still works. And you are sitting there thinking this whole thing only helps the guy about to buy new. This next part is built specifically for you, the golfer who wants to fix what he already carries without spending a dime. Because here is the thing the bag has been hiding from you. Most of the weight punishing your back nine is not the bag at all. It is what you stuffed inside it and forgot about. Go get your bag and dump it out. All of it, every pocket. I did this last spring on my kitchen floor and I could not believe what came out. 2 dozen extra golf balls I never played. 3 sleeves of balls from a scramble in the spring before. A full-size umbrella I never opened. 2 bottles of water gone warm. A jacket for weather that had long since passed. A pocket full of loose tees, ball markers, an old rangefinder I replaced, a wet towel, and a paperback yardage book from a course I had not visited in 2 years. I put all of it on the bathroom scale. Just the junk. Not the bag, not the clubs. It came to just over 6 pounds. 6 pounds of stuff I was hauling around for no reason, on top of a heavy bag, on top of the clubs. That is the difference between a light bag and a heavy one, sitting invisibly in your pockets, and you are lifting it every single time you carry. And even on the cart, you are loading and unloading it all day. So here is the free fix, the one that costs nothing and works with the exact bag you own. Strip it down to essentials. Carry 6 balls, not 2 dozen. 1 glove, not 4. The tees you will actually use in 1 round. A rangefinder if you use one, and leave the second one home. Skip the full umbrella unless the forecast demands it. That single audit took my loaded carry weight down by those 6 pounds without buying anything, and I felt the difference by the 12th hole immediately. If this kind of honest, numbers first thinking about your game and your gear is what you are after, I put all of it together in a book. Drive More, Swing Strong, and Full Swing cover exactly this territory. The equipment decisions, the swing principles, and the performance habits that actually move the needle for golfers past 50. Everything the industry skips over because there is no profit in telling you the plain truth. You can find it linked in the description below, and it is built for the player who wants the real number, not the sales story. Now let me get back to that second free fix, because it lives in how you set the bag up inside. If you have a full-length divider bag, put your heaviest clubs, your driver and woods, in the channels closest to your back and closest to the strap side, and your short irons and wedges toward the outside and front. This shifts the balance point of the bag closer to your spine, which reduces the leverage the weight has on your shoulder and lower back. It is the same reason a hiking pack rides its heavy load high and close to the back. A bag that balances against your body feels pounds lighter than the same bag balanced away from it, and it costs you nothing but 2 minutes of rearranging. And if you ride, here is your free fix. Take that stripped down bag and make sure the cart strap passes through the actual base channel if your bag has one, not just around the middle. A bag strapped only around the belly rotates and stresses the top. A bag anchored at the base sits still, protects your shafts from that rattling I described, and does not lean. You paid for that base channel. Most riders never thread the strap through it correctly. So even if you never buy another bag, you just recovered 6 pounds of dead weight and cut the fatigue that has been stealing from your closing holes. That alone is worth the price of admission. But it points directly at the biggest secret in this entire category. And this is the one I have been building toward the whole time. Why does any of this weight talk matter for your score? Because of what fatigue does to your swing speed. And this is the finding the bag industry has zero incentive to teach you. Here is the buried truth. Your club head speed is not a fixed number. It fades as you get tired. Research on walking golfers and on golfers late in a round has repeatedly shown that clubhead speed and shot consistency decline as fatigue sets in over 18 holes, and the effect is larger for older players whose recovery between shots is slower. Your muscles simply do not fire as fast on the 16th tee as they did on the first when you have spent 4 hours hauling extra load and burning extra energy. Think about what that means. Every mile per hour of clubhead speed is worth roughly 2.5 to 3 yards of carry with the driver. If fatigue quietly bleeds 3 or 4 miles per hour off your swing on the closing holes, that is 8 to 12 yards of carry gone, exactly when you need it, on the finishing stretch where rounds are won and lost. You did not get old between the first tee and the 16th. You got tired, and a heavy bag stuffed with 6 pounds of junk is a fatigue machine you paid for. Now, here is the 30-second test that ties it all together, the one I promised you, and it requires nothing but the bathroom scale you already own. Load your bag exactly the way you play it, clubs, balls, everything, and set the whole thing on the scale. Write down the number. Then strip it to essentials the way I described and weigh it again. Most golfers I have done this with find 5 to 8 pounds of pure fatigue they can delete for free. If your loaded bag comes in north of 35 pounds and you carry it, that is your answer for why your back nine falls apart, and it has nothing to do with your age or your swing. Then make the honest decision. If you walk, the single highest value change you can make is not a new driver and not a lesson. It is dropping your total carried weight, first by stripping the bag, and second, if you are going to buy, by choosing a genuine ultralight like the Sun Mountain 2.5 Plus at under 3 pounds instead of a 6-pound luxury bag. That is a swing in the range of 6 to 8 pounds of total load sustained over every step of every hole, protecting the swing speed you have left for the shots that actually matter. This is the part the industry will never put in an advertisement, because there is no glamour in it and very little profit. A lighter, smarter, stripped down bag does not photograph like status. It just quietly hands you back energy, and energy hands you back clubhead speed, and clubhead speed hands you back the yards you thought age had taken. The truth was always simple. Weight is the tax, fatigue is the bill, and your closing holes have been paying it. I did not invent this. It has been sitting in plain view in the fatigue research and in the weight specs printed on every bag numbers. The marketing carefully steers you away from by talking about leather and tour presentation instead. An honest tester weighs the thing. An honest fitter tells you the base and the dividers matter more than the logo. Now you know it too. So let me leave you with what you actually reclaimed today. You did not just learn which 6 bags to skip and which 4 to trust. You took back the energy that was being quietly siphoned out of your game. The yards that vanished on the 16th, and the $200 or $300 an industry wanted for a heavier bag that would have made all of it worse. You are the kind of golfer who refuses to be sold on looks and refuses to accept that getting older means getting shorter off the tee. You test things. You want the number, not the story. That is exactly the player who wins the long game against an industry that counts on you not doing the arithmetic. If you want the full rundown, I put every one of these bags, the 6 to avoid and the 4 that last, with their weights, their base designs, their divider types, and their real prices into a free, honest buyer's guide, along with the setup and weight audit fixes I walked you through. It is the guide the pro shop should have handed you and never did. The link is waiting for you below, and it costs you nothing. Now do one thing for me. Go weigh your loaded bag right now today and come back and tell me the number in the comments. I want to see it. Tell me what your stripped down number was too, and whether you found 6 pounds of junk like I did. And if you own the Sun Mountain C130 or a Ping Hoofer, tell me how many seasons you have gotten out of it, because that base and those full-length dividers are the whole point. Leave that comment. This older, wiser crowd needs to hear from real players, not marketers. And if you are done being overcharged, subscribe and stand with the golfers who play smarter as they age instead of paying more to fall behind. Next time, I am putting the pushcart makers on the scale, because there is one wildly popular model that adds pounds exactly where it hurts your energy the most, and almost nobody has caught it yet. You are going to want to hear that number before you buy. I'm glad you're still here with me. If this helped, let me tell you about the Honest Fairway Club. This video gave you the overview, but inside I take it further with the full graphite shaft protection ranking. You can ask me your own question, and I answer you myself. No bots. You'd belong with senior golfers just like you. Just point your phone at the code, cancel anytime, one click. If this helped you shop a little smarter, do subscribe and stay with me. I've got plenty more golf gear advice right here to keep you playing better and spending wisely.